Is it just me or is it starting to get really, really cold? I know I've just been snuggling in my sweater all day, like typical Sunday. You're probably here because you want to improve or even save an important relation in your life. Maybe something happened, maybe you've been struggling for a while. Luckily, these tips will work all around. Okay, so without any further ado, I just want to jump straight into the hacks. So the very first thing I have for you is to change your perspective. Now, the very first time I heard this, someone told me that I had the power to change my thoughts. And it might sound so obvious when I realized that I consciously could help myself by choosing more positive thoughts. Damn, like my whole world changed. The thoughts you repeat to yourself, whether that's consciously or subconsciously, that will reflect in you and how you're feeling. So it's so important that you're choosing your thoughts wisely. The next time you're in a really negative spiral, I want you to try and catch yourself in that spiral and then correct yourself to think more positive, because that's where you grow. When you actually can catch yourself when you're thinking negatively, be like, hey, this is not doing any good for me. Let me think about this instead. This is super simple, but it's definitely not easy because it takes certain awareness to actually being able to catch yourself when you're in that negative spiral. And the same goes for any relationship. What you water grows. So if you keep thinking about all the negative stuff in your relation, that's gonna grow. Okay, so the second thing I have for you is you need to start being a winner. And even if you don't feel like it, act like it. Some people have a tendency to have a victim mentality. They make it seem like they're really a victim. It's always them. Bad things always happen to me. People are out to get me. Maybe you know that person. When you're expressing a victim mentality, you're also saying to yourself that you don't have anything to say how things are gonna play out for you. Things happen to you. The truth is though, that when you start acting like a winner, you're creating a space for creating. Things just doesn't happen to you. You're creating stuff around you. And that's what a winner does. I'm not saying that if something bad happens, of course, every feelings are welcome. And it's okay to be sad and angry and all that stuff. The key here is how to bounce back. When you know how to bounce back and start creating again, you're acting like a winner. It's getting really dark outside. Not sure why. Maybe it's gonna rain. Just if it gets dark in the room, that's why. The third thing I have for you is how to be happy for other people. If you have a tendency to be envious or jealous of other people around you, you must know how much energy that takes from you. Those type of feelings will deprive you from happiness and joy. So it's really, really important to understand that their life is their life and your life is your life. Anyone shouldn't be copying anyone. Instead, you should be going your own ways and allow yourself to get inspired by the other. Instead of thinking, I wish that was me. Practice congratulating them and mean it. It's so important you mean it. This topic about being happy for others is so huge that I actually did a video on it last week. Of course, I have brought a new affirmation to you this week that I will tell you later in this video that you can start implementing immediately to actually get in the energy of creating these healthier relations. So the fourth thing I have for you is to raise your self-worth. I know how hard this can be, but you have to try. The more in alignment you are with yourself and the more confident you are in what you can bring to the table, the more you don't need others' approvals for what you're doing. When you can separate yourself from that relation will change in a good way. When you do this, you won't be needing each other as much and you'll grow into your own people who wants to spend time together. I know for a fact I've been in those relations where we needed each other to feel whole, and that's not healthy for anyone. When you have two codependent people, one of those people will always end up getting hurt, because if one of the other does just one act of self-love, that is being viewed as selfish because they're a oneness, which is not healthy for any type of relation at all. The fifth thing I have for you is the smallest things can go the longest way. And this might be a completely no-brainer, but just be good to people and try to consciously think about what you can do or say to make the other person feel special. When we leave people with a feeling of increase, we feel better. So try in your next interaction with anyone give them a sincere compliment, or give them something spiritually, or give them something physically that's gonna make them feel special, because it's gonna make you feel like the richest person alive. It could be buying someone coffee, or hugging someone who needs it at just the right time, or saying a sincere compliment. It could be anything. But to that person, that's gonna mean the absolute world that you thought of them. And that's invaluable. Before we close out though, I have the affirmation for you. I explained in my last video how I usually would do it myself. I usually tell it to myself eye to eye in the mirror. Some people love to do it just closing their eyes and repeatedly telling themselves the affirmation in their head. Do what you feel most comfortable doing. Everything is valid. Everything is okay. There is no right or wrong answer to this. But anyways, let's jump straight into the affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful now that I leave everyone I meet with a feeling of increase, and that all the relations I have in my life thrive because of it. It is so. Tell yourself this affirmation every morning in the upcoming week and let me know how it goes. I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next Sunday.